New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you want to know the secrets of a life that's free, listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Hello, hello, hello. We are Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Yes, I am Dr. Natasha Wilson.
And I'm Robyn Rice-Olmsted. And that's what we are, Girls Behaving Metaphysically. We're so happy that you're here, that you've joined us. If you would do us the favor, the kind gesture of liking, and whatever platform you're on, just click on those buttons and like us so that we can keep coming to you. But here we are, and we are pre-recorded, just so you know, because life is just like that sometimes.
It is.
You know, thank God you can't always be live. That's so cryptic.
If you
so
were
weird.
live, how could you have a Volkswagen behind you? Like,
But well, the question is there a Volkswagen behind me?
there is, Robyn. What is that? It's something.
It's something. It's a Volkswagen. It's a Volkswagen bus parked behind me where I'm sitting.
Yes, and there are people going in and out of it.
There are. But we're not concerned with them. We're concerned with us. So, focusing on us, back to us. How have you been? How's your week?
My week is...
Let me just preface it with, ladies and gentlemen, she has a glass of wine. So
yes, and my week is very human. That's all I can say. It's a very human, earth school type of week. Like I am needing to remember that I am a spiritual being having a human experience, and I'm forgetting very often. How are you?
I'm good. Life is so surreal, I think. I mean, it's very similar to what you just said. It's just surreal. I mean, because it is this human experience, which really is some kind of illusion. Like we think that all these things have to happen and are happening, and if they don't happen, and in reality, regardless of if any of that happens, life goes on.
Life. What's that?
Well, we are diving deep into this metaphysical realm of madness. If you're joining us for the first time, we are Girls Behaving Metaphysically. And what that means is that, we really look at the metaphysical and everything. And so, on some level, there's really no such thing as a bad day because, you got to be able to find the good in it somewhere. So, we're just exploring things. We like to start out with pulling a card because it's what we do. We look for a sign. Everybody, all of us metaphysical people look for signs in the universe. Should I go left? Should I go right? Ooh, there's a sign.
Well, I have our cards. I've shuffled. Are you ready for me to pull?
Sure.
Yeah. You ready?
Sure. I'm ready. I'm so ready.
I feel like we pulled this before. Come back to center.
Back to center. It sounds, I mean, isn't that always the way? It's like, yeah. I don't know. At the end of the day, there's God, right? Right there in the center. There's spirit. There's the divine. So it's like we're always coming back to that.
And if that's the center, that's the divine, then that's us. And that's all there is. And we constantly come back to ourselves.
I don't know. You have a different take on it?
No, I don't. I do have a different take. I don't think I have a different take on it. I think that it's hard to remember sometimes, to come back or not. Sometimes it's not even that we're coming back. It's almost that we're remembering. And I think something about being a human means that we're very forgetful. We're very forgetful of our divinity. We're very forgetful in general. And we get mired or caught up in the human experience. And I know that I do, and I know that I have. And I think it's why I started today by saying I am a spiritual being having a human experience, because I absolutely forget at times. I absolutely forget. I feel like my spiritual practice helps me to remember sooner. So, unlike when I was in my 20s and I used to spin out, and then like I'd have to see a practitioner, and a practitioner would be like, Natasha, you are a divine emanation of God. Now I'm able to sort of pull myself back and just sort of remember. But I'm almost 50. Sometimes I feel like I still need my practitioner. Especially on weeks like today. I said weeks like today. So that goes to tell you what it's like for me. Weeks like today. There you go.
Yeah, I got that. And I don't think that you ever really stop needing a practitioner in the sense that it's always good to have that sounding board or that voice of reason, or whether it doesn't have to be a practitioner, but
it needs to be a practitioner. I'm sorry, it needs to be a practitioner, because I'm sorry, it needs to be a practitioner. It needs to be someone who is holding that foot in that Jesus, that Jesus, those Jesus feet. One foot is of the world and one foot is of not the world, right? Robyn, tell me the Jesus saying. I'm in the world, but I'm not of it. And I feel like that's what practitioners do. And that's practitioner specific.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it definitely needs to be someone who is practicing the presence, who is practicing what you said, standing in the knowingness that God is all there is. And yeah. And we as practitioners, we have our moments too, where we need somebody to go spin the other direction. Turn that spin around.
Amen. Yeah.
Well, I think that's really, I do think that that's really important, and to acknowledge that it is an ongoing process, because your week and everything that's gone on in it and everything that goes on in our lives will pass, and we'll get to the other side. And something else will come to remind us to wake up, to be awake, to be aware, to be that we're alive, that, whatever the message, however you get the message, whatever it is. And so, yeah, I think that the bit larger thing is to come back to center. Sometimes we need help. We need an anchor, and that can be found in a practitioner.
Yes.
I think that's beautiful. Thank you for saying that, reminding us.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's, like, I'm not a practitioner. Like, I've never made it through the formal course. And I know I've had therapists. I am a therapist. I've also had practitioners, and there is something about practitioners that they're like, what they stand for is helping us to remember that we are these spiritual beings having a human experience, and that really matters. And we need that in the world. I feel like more than we need anything these days is to remember that. So I'm here for the practitioners.
It's great. And yeah, that's great. And I think, while I agree with you. And I think that the difference is, a lot of therapists, not you, but a lot of therapists are basically only school learned and are thinking, are constantly thinking and fixing. And the difference is a practitioner is standing in that place of knowing that you were never hurt, harmed, or endangered, that you can be nothing but the reflection of pure spirit, that there is nothing to fix. You know what I mean? And so I think when we as practitioners come from that place, we're not talking about what we've learned, even though we've learned a lot in our training. We're not trying to teach or trying to fix. We're listening in that moment to what's coming through and what's needed to be heard. And I actually had that experience today. I was doing a prayer call with somebody, a client, who wanted to give me a whole lot of story beforehand, and I listened, and when I prayed, she had a call she had to make in 5 minutes because this was going wrong and that was going wrong with the project she was working on, and they were going to la 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 la. And what came out in the prayer was that it was this prayer was really, in this situation, was really about a rite of passage for her. That it was about her standing in her power and blah 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 blah. I didn't think about that. I didn't get that from that. I got that from the feeling tone of what she said, and it came through that way. You know what I mean? It just came through. And generally, I don't even remember, but she happened to text me after and tell me, "Oh, that was so right. It was so a rite of passage, and I feel so powerful," and blah blah blah. But I mean, it's letting go of that, fixing it, and really being in tune with what's being asked to be called forth. So, so Natasha, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I really like that because, like, I'm not sort of poo-pooing on being a therapist. Like, I'm a therapist. And I'm not a therapist trained in the tradition of fixing anything. I'm not here to fix nothing. But there is a difference in terms of that practitioner piece. And I've had enough training in the practitioner piece that piece around never being hurt, harmed, or endangered, I think is very unique to the practitioner stance. That isn't carried across even in transpersonal perspectives of therapy. I think even in transpersonal perspectives of therapy, we are called to, and maybe there is an alignment there with the practitioner piece where, look, I will stand in this world with you and hold this line that you believe you've been hurt, harmed, or endangered. And there is this other piece where I am also holding this foot in knowing that because you are a unique emanation of the divine, it is impossible. You have not been hurt, harmed, and danger, but I can hold this other reality with a small r, right? There's the reality with a small r and the reality with the big R. And I feel like that has been the gift of the metaphysical practice and working with wonderful practitioners and working in the New Thought movement, is that I can, even in my work, hold that, even though I have to constantly name and use the language where I'm holding this other reality with the smart R. I feel like practitioners have this really beautiful way of constantly calling us to remember the big R. That I feel like as a clinician and a therapeutic perspective, we're not able to go there right away with people. Sometimes it takes a long time to be able to come to that place of the big R, you know? And it's a thing that I'm super grateful for.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think that, you know, everybody has their place. I think that, you know, a therapist is really important for people to have. I mean, but like you said, it holds us in the not values. What do I want to say? It's well, I guess it's like, you know, going to your general doctor or going to an ear doctor if you have an earache or something. I don't know, but you know what I mean. I think that all of it is good. All of it is good, and
there's a place for it.
There's a place for it. Just like, you know, a coach. A coach is different than a practitioner. You know, so it's like they all have their nuances. Yeah, and they can work well together.
Yeah, and people are ready for different things at different places, right? Like I feel like there are people, like in this human journey, there are people that's like, okay, yeah, it's the big R, the big R, the big reality, the bigger reality, like the what's real. And oh God, even saying that, it's like having to continue to hold the space that, yeah, that little R is still meaningful. I'm not saying that little R is not meaningful. I think there's a place for all of it. And I don't know, I feel today, Robyn, I'm just at this place where I have a particular respect and appreciation and love for spiritual practitioners.
It's beautiful. So it is. It's very nice to know that that we're held that way, you know. So thank you. So Natasha is encouraging us all to go see our practitioner. And if you don't have one, there's plenty of us out there, and you can always ask anyone at New Thought Media to direct you in the direction of some practitioners. You can ask me. You can, if you need or would like to experience a practitioner, call us.
Look, get one. And practitioner does not eclipse a therapist. You can have both. I think you can have both, but I am completely right now in this place where I'm like, if you don't have anything, get a spiritual practitioner.
Okay. Well, do it, but don't do it until after our show, unless you want to start looking now when we take a break. You can like flip through the sites and see if you can find someone. But we're going to take a break right here, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes right here on New Thought Media Network.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you wanna know the secrets of a life that's free, listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Hello, we are back.
Yes, we
I am
are.
Robyn Rice. I'm Robyn Rice Olmsted.
Dr. Natasha Wilson. And we are.
We are Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
And what does that mean?
As you can tell, we don't rehearse this. What does that mean? I think that's a great question. What does that mean? Because I've been thinking this a lot lately. I was thinking about the women I want to have on this show, and not that it's all girls behaving metaphysically, because the concept of the show is really generic. That it's that everything we do, male, female, transgender, it doesn't matter. Everything we do is metaphysical or is a form, can be spiritual. And so it just happened to be that when we started this show, we were girls. And so Girls Behaving Metaphysically was just the perfect title. But, I'm thinking about all the spiritual badass people we know. And so many people are doing such great stuff. I was thinking specifically women, but it's people across the line. But I mean, that there's just a lot of people doing great things out there. I think that don't get credit in the spiritual column necessarily because it looks like something else. What do you think?
I think if we look at the science of it all life is inherently female. So I personally, not just personally, just scientifically, we know that all life is inherently female. Before anyone develops a penis, they have a vagina. So in the womb. So everybody's a girl, ultimately. I also know that when it comes to the same thing, I think we keep being confronted by the same stuff over and over again. Like, even from a scientific perspective, we think that we're different races, and yet we all come from East Africa. So the truth is we're all African. So we're all girls and we're all Black. So that's where I come from.
So if you have a challenge with that, get over it or
Deal
change
with
the
it.
channel.
Deal with it. You're all Black women. Get over it. So
So I actually asked Google, because I like to talk to Google. I actually asked Google, what do people want to talk about?
mhm.
And Google said they wanted to talk about food and other people. And I thought that was really interesting. So it says each other, we are fascinated by how each other lives and profits or loses as a result of our choices. And I thought that's an interesting topic.
What?
That we
wanna
as
talk
people,
about food and
no,
other people?
yeah, other people. But I think it's an interesting topic that we're fascinated, that people are fascinated by the way other people profit or lose, either way. Just like we're so, and I think I'm going through this right now with having a teenager, because teenagers don't know who the hell they are, most of them, and are trying to figure it out. And so
Tell them they're Black women. And then they can
oh,
let it
that
go.
would be so confusing.
No, it'd be awesome. It would be awesome.
Well, I'm telling you, where our kid stands right now, it would be, I mean, he would probably be very happy about that. It would clear up a lot of issues. But
I think it clear up issues for a lot of people. I'm just saying. And that's the anthropologist thing, okay? I'm just saying it'll clear up issues for the whole world.
Well, it's true. I mean, we could go that way. We could talk about that.
No, Robyn, I'm serious. I'm an anthropologist.
I know.
Okay.
I know, but I know you're serious. Did you think I thought you were kidding?
My daughters are blonde and blue-eyed, but I tell them all the time, you trace your ancestry back far enough, honey. You come from the continent. It's okay. It's okay. We don't need to have identity crisis because we're all the same in the end. And then it goes back to metaphysical principles. So we got metaphysical principles on the one hand, and we got science. Everybody's a Black woman and everybody's God. Let it go.
Thank you for joining us this week.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, okay. So that's an interesting thing.
Robyn, it's not interesting. It's just the truth.
No, listen, let me finish my sentence. I'm not talking about
sorry.
what's the truth or not truth.
Sorry.
I hear you that it's the truth. I'm saying that's an interesting, though. It's an interesting point of reference and concept to bring into the world today. I get it.
I have freedom.
I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about the people that stormed the Capitol and
those people. They all need a reality check. They all need to be educated. As I'm like wrapped in the spirit of Frida Kahlo, okay? Like all of those people are suffering. And if they would be just told that their ancestry as a Homo sapien takes them back to East Africa, they'd chill, maybe. And that the oldest human being on the planet, Homo sapien, is a woman in East Africa. So according to the racial schema of the world we live in, that would mean she's Black. I am just saying, there's a lot of shit we deal with that we don't have to deal with. I feel like I'm wrapped in the spirit of Frida Kahlo right now. And she's just telling the truth. All this other shit, y'all need to let it go. We are all one. That's metaphysical and that's scientific. And as a matter of fact, what's his name? Dawkins. He wrote a whole book on it. He actually wears a t-shirt all the time. He's a white appearing guy. He wears a shirt that says we're all African because that's the truth. Let's let it go. Can we get together? Can we make a better world? I'm done with the bullshit.
Okay. And the FCC will be done with our show.
No, don't be done with our show, FCC.
Okay.
We
All
have a
right. Well,
producer. He should cut me out when I do this stuff.
you may be sorry you said that. There you go. There's the message from the producer.
And I mean every word of it.
I know you do, but and I know that you're very convicted to that, and I'm not saying it's fact. It is fact, and blah blah blah. And how so as a teacher that you are, as a metaphysician, as all the things that you are, how do you find a way to integrate that teaching into a this isn't the word I want, but I'm going to use it, into a palatable or into a language that people can hear? Because
Robyn,
if you go out there and you're okay,
no, go ahead, Robyn. I'm gonna listen.
I mean, no, I'm just saying how, because as a practitioner, as a metaphysician, as who I am, there are times when I want to tell people, I can't tell them now because our producer will yell at me. When I want to use all kinds of language to tell them that they're full of it. And there's also a place that I have to come to, that I believe all of us have to come to in the world of oneness, because if we're going to be able to live together and get to any kind of agreement, then we have to be able to communicate it in a different way, in a way, like I'll give you an example. Like a lot of times, I have an issue. I always swear I'm going to lose my black card. I am African American.
You can't lose your black card. It's impossible.
Hold on.
Did you hear what I said earlier?
Yeah, but I'm talking about with my people, because my people get very upset with me because I don't have the same perspective. Because I don't want to just talk. I'm going to tell you. I don't want to just talk about, 400 years ago, or what the white man did to us, or blah, 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 blah. I don't want to talk about all that. I want everybody to be able, I want to talk about, the different things that they don't know as well, because they don't know things about, the white people. And there needs to be a meeting and an understanding and a tolerance. So it's like, how do you convey the message that you just had, which I think is phenomenal, that we all come from the same place, but how do we do that in a way that people can really understand?
Honestly, Robyn, I'm just like, I like to ask people, what is your investment in this fiction? Like, honestly, this is a fiction. Race is a fiction. I'm not saying racism is a fiction. I'm saying race is a fiction. So what is your commitment to this fiction? I'm just at the place where I, like a lot of people who are moving through what life is calling of us, which is to name the fiction, to start to say, yo, the emperor's not wearing clothes. Y'all can keep pretending that the emperor's wearing clothes, but we all know the emperor's butt ass naked. The fact is, we are one species. Like, we can keep trying to invest in this fiction that is dying, this fiction that has no scientific relevance at the end of the day. Whatever you need, whatever fear you have that is keeping you tied to this fiction, okay, fine. But the fact is, for us to survive as a species, and we are one species at the end of the day, we have got to be willing to look in the mirror and question, why am I so invested in this fiction? For fear or for love? It ain't for love. And I'm done. Look, as a human being who is called Black, who is female for all intents and purposes. No, I was born with a vagina. I'm just saying, like, as a human being born in the body that I'm in, I have no interest and no longer any investment in the fiction. We need to do the work to come through this if we are going to survive as earthlings. This is no longer tenable. It's just not. So I'm not interested. I'm not interested in the games, in the pretend that somehow we're not one species, that somehow we don't sink or swim together. We need to get on the same page if we're going to survive. I'm just done. I have actual children that I love who, for all intents and purposes, they are different races, but I love them. And I know for them to have a future, we got to stop this. It's madness, Robyn. It's madness. So like,
I agree with you.
But what? Like, I feel like what? Like what? I have to play this
but
game?
No, I didn't say it's a game or to play the game. I said, how do you, it's like if you were teaching the class, because obviously not everybody's going to go, oh yeah, we're all the same. Oh yeah, we came, we're one. And oh yeah, it was a woman.
Science, Robyn, it's science.
What
are we going to do?
People deny science all the time.
Well, fuck, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So people deny it. So that's not what I'm saying is, okay, in total agreement. And how do we make it so that people can hear it? I mean, I get that you're done and you don't care how people hear it.
Robyn. I love you. I love you. And I think that I love you so much. And I think that you are such a beautiful human being that you are asking this question. There are human beings like me that are born in these dark brown skin bodies, that are born with vaginas. And I'm tired. If I have to swallow the reality that is the science, then I'm like, stop all the shenanigans. We are one species. If you don't care about the science, which is the best that the West has to deliver, the best that the West has given to the world is a scientific method. West, i.e. white, has given to the world. If you don't buy into that, then what is there for me to do? What is there for me to do?
Well,
y'all. God bless y'all. I'm going to drink my kombucha. Bless you all. You don't have me on Girls Behaving Metaphysically to be like kowtow. Like these people.
It's not about kowtowing. It's about offering the people that are listening maybe that inroad to understanding. Because no matter what you say, people don't understand. I mean, we could look at many things.
Do we need to address the school system? Is that what you're saying? We need to deal with the school system for not teaching people science, which is the best that the West has to offer is the scientific method. And now the scientific method is agreeing with metaphysicians. Now the scientific method can measure quantum physics. The best that the West has to offer. West, that's white people. Okay?
I got it.
Y'all science is showing you what you're in resistance to. There's no place for me. I'm doing my work. I'm doing God's work.
Okay.
I'm doing God's work. God's work is not about continuing these shenanigans. Come on, people. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
I think you're preaching to the choir.
But I'm saying, like, I don't want to preach to the other people. I'm sick of them. They've been we have 500 years. Like, seriously, they expected me to preach to them? Oh, no. God. Give me kombucha and a glass of red wine. I ain't got time. That's the other thing that the West did for the world. It gave the world great wine. I named my dog Bacchus after the god of wine. Okay, so there we go.
Okay.
Great lipstick.
All right. Okay. So then I guess
this is spiritual. This I know I'm funny, but this is real talk, Robyn. This is real.
I am not denying that. Why
do we have to keep putting all our energy to the people that don't want to get on the boat of survivors. They want to sink with the Titanic. What am I supposed to do?
Okay, so here's the
I got
challenge
kids.
with that.
I got
Wait.
blonde hair, blue-eyed kids, and they gonna survive as far as I'm concerned. They coming with me. They're my babies.
Are you done?
I think.
Okay. So here's the challenge. There is no us and them.
That's right.
There
I
is
know
no
that.
them over there.
You know it.
And so until we can find the way to communicate with the them, we can't just throw everything out in the world and go, well, screw that. I'm just not dealing with them.
I'm saying, like, how much energy are we going to continue to expend on people who want to be invested in a world that is dying? That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying.
So I don't see it that way. I hear you, but I don't see it as investing into people who are invested in a world that is dying. I represent.
afraid.
Wait a minute. Let me finish. I represent.
Okay, I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet.
Okay, I'm ready.
For 5 minutes.
Okay. I believe I represent the people who are interested in living and who are interested in living in peace. I'm not looking at it like, how many more times do I have to tell these SOBs, blah, blah, blah. That's not what it's about. It's about finding a way to be, I mean, this is for me because this is part of my mission, is finding a way to be able to express and have people understand and learn so that they can walk away with that knowingness of science. As you know, not everybody is checking with the metaphysical or the any physical or any archaeological or any of the anthropological, any of those things. It's not like all of the human race is that educated or that invested in this. So, you know, I look at it from my own perspective of just being who I am and knowing that, you know, being a multi-race, I just am who I am. And
Which
being able to,
you're not a multi-race. You are
okay, but I'm multicultural.
Sapien.
But
You're
I am multicultural.
Yes.
So,
yes, as we all are.
So being able to represent that is important to me. And being able to represent that with the people that I am the same culture of, where there's disagreement. Because not everybody thinks the way I do.
No, and they
as
don't
an African American person,
Robyn,
or as a Latina.
They don't have to.
I know.
Don't have to. What I'm saying is, we can have culture, but do not ask for there to be. Race is not real. Culture is. Race isn't. Okay? I'm as multicultural as they get. As a matter of fact, thank God I'm not in my office in the clinic. I decided I can't do the show when I'm in a clinic because I need to have a drink. So I know that I am multicultural. I have a citizenship application a citizenship thing in the background in my office that says I am an Australian. I am an American Australian. It doesn't say anything in there about me being from Africa, although I'm a dark brown person. At the end of the day, because look, as far as I'm concerned, as far as science is concerned. And what I'm saying is, if people have a problem with science, which is the best that the West has to offer, that is not my work. Because at the end of the day, everybody is from East Africa. Every Homo sapiens sapien is from East Africa. We are one people. And if there is something resistant in your soul to that, that is not my work. That is not my work. That is not my work.
Okay.
And I'm just done. I am done.
Okay.
That's not my
work. I got that.
As much as I love men. I've been married to a few. I like them. I love them. At the end of the day, I'm like, look, all life is inherently female. You need to grapple with that. And I'm here to love you and hold you through that. But at the end of the day, the majority of the planet looks like some version of me and you. I am not sitting here trying to make people comfortable that have been made comfortable like for so long, while people like me have had to sit in the discomfort of the reality. Like, we got to get out of this fear-based world that difference. It means fear. Look, we look different, but at the end of the day, what does it all mean? We are metaphysicians. We are all God at the end of the day. And if you have some resistance in your spirit to that, that is your work. That is what you are here to do. Your work is to challenge that and to change that so we can create a world that works for everybody. And I am not making any excuses for that. That's not my work. My work.
Nobody's asking you.
Nobody's
asking you to
not
make
about you.
excuses.
I'm just saying in general. Like, I'm sort of done with having to carry the extra load. We need people who are willing to carry this load with us, so that not only can we survive, but we can thrive as we move into the next century. There's so much more. There's so much more. There's just so much more we could be doing with our time than trying to help people feel comfortable with the reality. If I have to become my grandma, I have to be comfortable with the reality. My great-grandma, my great-great-grandma, everybody got to be comfortable with the reality. Let's do it. Let's do the work so we can get there. We sink or swim together.
I hear you.
Where I am. So.
And I understand that. And that's a valid place to be. And, some people aren't going to be able to do that work without getting to the other work they need to do. I'm just saying. So that was kind of where my question stems from, like where does one begin? But it is, I mean, I get it. I get it.
Maybe I should do the podcast from the clinic. Because I can't have one.
Wine is okay.
Look, there are certain things I love about the West. The West gave us science, it gave us a scientific method, and it gave us good wine. Okay? Like, let's do this together. Like, the West is great. Like, my babies, I always say that the universe has a sense of humor. Because I never wanted to give birth to kids, but I always said when I was ready to adopt, in my mind, it was like, I'm going to adopt like a little brown girl, and she's going to have like these little Afro puffs, and I'm corny and from the South. So I'm like, we're going to dress alike. I'm going to do all these things. And then the universe brings me the whitest goddamn child on planet Earth. Blonde, blue-eyed. I can't make her hair puff no matter what I do. Right. And I cannot imagine a more perfect child for me. I cannot imagine a more perfect child for me, because the universe is wanting me to hold what I know. I've said here, I've done all this research on how race is a myth and how we need to move past this if we're going to survive. And of course, the universe gives me the kids that they give me. So either I'm going to step up to the plate and do what I know I'm charged to do, which is hold the reality that race is not real, racism is, race isn't, or I'm going to keep in this, the empress wearing clothes when the empress naked. Like, we got to stop. And
we do have to stop.
I think I'm just at a point, Robyn, where I don't have the same level of patience and tolerance for the fear. I just don't. And I'm not saying like we don't hold space for people, we don't embrace them, we don't care for them. I am just saying I know my work, and my work is not to that's not my work. That's not why I'm on planet Earth.
Okay. Oof. Well, I'd have wine if I could.
I wish I could give you some. I got some great Australian wine. Australians make the best wine.
I've had some Australian wine. Well, thank you for being so passionate and so willing to share your views. I think
And
that
I will probably never be seen again.
wow, you think Michael, our producer, is that big and bad that he's gonna have
No,
to
look, I know Michael. Michael is, I have a feeling, like I can just feel in my gut. Michael is, I think Michael thinks he's a black, Michael knows he's a black woman in his core. I'm not, I'm not worried about Michael at all.
I know though. I want to know if Michael's wife knows he's a black woman
She's
in
a
his
black woman in her
core.
core. Yeah,
I
ask
know.
her. We'll have her on.
Anyway, well, and so, so, all right. There are no words. So,
There are no words.
okay. All right.
I'm
So
usually
there you
really
have it.
quiet, Robyn.
Okay.
No,
That's
when I'm in the clinic, I'm so quiet. I'm just like, I'm Dr. Natasha Wilson, and I'm going to like look at the facts. And like I just was like, I can't do this in the clinic anymore. Because I'm gonna do a podcast. I am going to be, I'm gonna bring what I know to bring.
All right. Well, let's just hope no one from the clinic tunes in or
I don't-
finds you on Facebook.
I don't care.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're just grateful. We're grateful you found us, however you found us, and we're really grateful if you returned. And who knows? It's not always quite this passionate, but it's always interesting.
It
So
is.
we guarantee you that. So I just want to thank Michael Mangus, our producer, and New Thought Media Network for being the space where we can hold these conversations and know truly that at the end of the day, it's all one, it's all love.
That's
and
right.
so we're sending you love out there, whether you identify as a Black woman or not, whether you, I'm not going to recap, you know, all the things, all the possibilities. And at the end of the day, as Dr. Natasha said, there is only one. So keep that one in your heart and in your mind, and we'll see you next week.
Peace and blessings, y'all.